Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about how my substitute teaching experience has been going. It is now towards the end of March. We are at March 26th when I'm filming this, and I started substitute teaching on February 12th. So we've been substituting for over a month and a half, and things are going pretty well. It is not at all what I expected it to be, like in a good way. So stereotypically, like, subs get the worst behavior of students and they're bad and stuff, but really that has not, for the most part, been my experience. Before I get into behavior, I want to talk about how I really appreciate this experience and how it has helped me to solidify the fact that I do not want to be in grades K through 6. So at this point, I have subbed, I've had K through 12 students. I had kindergarten through 3rd grade in an art class that I was subbing for. So I only had those students for like 50 minutes and then they went back to their regular teacher. But I've been in the classroom with 4th graders. That's the lowest that I've gone. And while these kids are great and the like upper elementary kids are just hilarious. Some of the stuff they come up with, I'm just like, you guys are really funny. I haven't been in the classroom with kindergarten through 3rd grade yet. I'm not an elementary school teacher. A, my personality, that's not my group. And B, I am trained in 7 through 12, grades 7 through 12. I have no experience with knowing classroom management for kindergartners. Like, that just sounds like trying to herd cats, you know? Like, you're just trying to keep them in a group and they're going everywhere. Like, how do you even handle that? I have no idea. So to be put in the position of having to manage kindergartners is just terrifying for me. If you're thinking the same way, if you're like, no, I really don't want to teach, you know, lower elementary or middle school or whatever, like, that's okay, because there are plenty of people I have talked to who are like, I could never do high schoolers. I don't know how you do it or why you want to. And I'm like, dude, those kids are great. Like, I love working with them. That's my jam, is high school. So it's helped me solidify the fact that I don't want to teach elementary and that I know I do want to teach high school. Like, those are my kids. But it has taught me that if I were to teach 7th or 8th grade, I would be okay with that. Like, I haven't had 8th graders, I've had 7th graders. Those kids are funny too, like really funny. It's a good age because they're old enough for me to like reason with them and talk to them about like empathy. Like, okay, well, put yourself in my shoes. How do you think I feel when you're standing on your chair and screaming? I haven't had that, but they're still young enough that they're super creative. And yeah, I don't know. It's fun to see them. And I think it's interesting that I've learned that I would really like to teach middle school if it happened. This has also been really nice because I've been able to see other classrooms and how they're set up and just like get different ideas. Something I wanted to mention, I don't film in the classrooms that I sub in. I don't get Wi-Fi or cell phone signal in any of the schools that I go into. Dead. Zero. No contact with the outside world. I don't want to film in the classroom because I don't have the teacher's permission. If I'm in a classroom that I know the teacher and I can like ask them for permission. I subbed for my student teaching position. Like, my teacher, my mentor teacher, I subbed for her and it was amazing. I got to see my kids again and it was great, and it was a Friday, so I had all 7 periods. Those, you know what? Some of them might not have showed it when I was teaching, but they like me. And like, a lot of them were coming up to me and being like people, like students who I didn't expect were like, Miss Byler, you're back. And I'm like, I didn't even know you liked me. Like, it was great. It was just a really good experience. So that was really exciting. So if I sub for my mentor teacher again, like, I know she'd be fine with me vlogging because we've talked about it. And a couple of the other teachers at the school I student taught at, I would be comfortable like asking their permission to vlog while I'm in there. So that might happen. The one thing about substitute teaching is that it's not as reliable as I would like it to be. So for the most part, I have a lot of jobs scheduled in advance, mostly through the school that I student taught at. I'll email the person who is in charge of scheduling, and don't, like, if you're getting into substitute teaching, not every school is going to do this. It just happens to be how this woman prefers to do it. I'll email the person who's in charge of scheduling and just be like, you know, what do you have for these dates and on, or something. And she will tell me, like, she's told me, well, I don't have anything for this week, but I have something for April. And I'll be like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll take it. So I have a bunch of days in April. I've got almost half of April already filled up with jobs. Because I have like a set of teachers that I've networked with already and they know I'm subbing, they contact me and they're like, hey, do you want to sub? I have a teacher who's like, will you sub these 3 days for me in May? And I'm like, yes, I will. I leave my contact information with any teacher I sub for. I leave my phone number and my email, and I let them know, like, if you need a sub, just let me know, and you know, you can reach me at this number or whatever. And I had two teachers contact me and be like, will you sub for me? Like, teachers that I've never met before. I only know them because I was in their classroom subbing. They contact me and be like, hey, will you sub for me? Yes. So like, that's nice, but it's not super reliable. Like, today, it's Monday. Because this is a weird time, like spring breaks happening now. So like around holidays or the very beginning or the very end of the school year, I can see being a really difficult time for substitute teachers because teachers aren't taking off. I don't have any jobs scheduled for this week, and I have to rely on waking up in the morning and hoping that I get a job that day, which this morning did not happen. While it's nice that I can make my own schedule, it's also not the most reliable if I don't have a job planned in advance, or I can't get to the jobs fast enough. In case you don't know, substituting works in my area online. I think all of the schools use this system, and they'll put their days off and they'll pop up for me, and I can see, like, there's a kindergarten position open and a high school math position open at, you know, these schools, and I can choose whatever jobs I want on there. But because all of the subs in the area are on there, it's a first come first serve thing. So usually jobs do not stay on this website any longer than about, in my experience, like 15 to 20 minutes. They'll pop up and be gone like almost instantly. That's the only downside to it, is that you're not always guaranteed a job. The only other thing really that I want to talk about is that there haven't been a ton of behavior issues. The worst behavior I've seen, is in the elementary, and I have a feeling that that's only because, like, I don't know how to manage them. High schoolers are pretty easy. Like, I've noticed that as you go up in the grades, it gets a little, like, easier, or the sub is less involved. In elementary, like K through 5, I would say, you are teaching that class. Like, you are doing exactly what the teacher would do because you're with the same kids all day. So you can't just be like, here's a worksheet, work on it for 50 minutes. You are teaching what that teacher would teach. And it's very involved. And for me, it's very exhausting. But your day goes by pretty quickly. In 6 through 8, it's like hit or miss. Sometime in, I think one or two of the classes, middle school classes I've done, like, I was actually teaching. And now in those grades, a lot of the times the students are switching classes, like definitely by 7th grade. And that one, it is involved, but it's pretty easy because you're teaching the exact same thing like 2 or 3 times. In high school, because it's like an upper level and they're learning more advanced stuff, not everybody who walks into the classroom is going to be qualified to teach that. Like, I could not, even though I'm a high school teacher, I could not walk in to a math class and teach them how to do their math. With high school, like, the teacher is going to leave stuff to do, and like, I'm basically there just to make sure that they're behaving and doing their work. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, behavior issues. So, I mean, like, how much trouble is a kid gonna get into when he's working on a worksheet? Not a lot. Things are going pretty well. I'm really enjoying substitute teaching, and it's nice because my day is different every single day. Like, I'm not always in the same classroom, which is kind of fun. But I am really looking forward to having my own classroom. So that's all I'm gonna say on it now. If you guys have any questions or want me to talk more on it, just leave me a comment down below. I think that's all I have for you guys today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!